All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakak. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a video and a lesson talking about how women are not wise, man, for starters, right? And then also going into how Esau is an extreme crybaby, man, right? And how they're hypocrites. And this video is on a term that Esau's came out with now, by where they say two-tier policing, which for those of you that might not know what two-tier policing supposedly is, right? It's where one group of people get treated by the police differently than another group of people. Now, we know as Israelite men, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men, we know that two-tier policing is real, right? But the people that are complaining about two-tier policing and that have even came up with that term are Edomites, and they're trying to say that every other racial group gets treated differently to them and gets treated more harshly by the Lord than them. Now, I want to just speak on that particular point because the world likes to say that so-called black men in particular are such a small portion of the population, right? And yet they are committing most of the crimes and they're in prison the most. That's the stereotype that so-called white people have put on so-called black men, right? So if you are to believe that that is a thing, then how the hell can you say that at the same time that there's such a thing as two-tier policing? When that would mean that so-called black men are getting arrested for the things that they do as crimes, right? Now, I want to read the scripture, Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. Our people have been robbed and spoiled of our wealth, man, right? The Atlantic slave trade drained a significant amount of wealth from our people, man, and made us not remember who we are in bulk, right? But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. So it is a true thing that so-called black men are in jail at a high percentage, right? But then when you consider who's doing the arresting and who's doing the court, who owns the courtrooms and who's doing the sentencing, of course so-called black men are going to be in prisons at a high rate because their number one enemy is in charge of deciding who does and who don't go into prison, right? They are hidden holes. They are hidden prison houses. They are for a slay. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 2. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22 again. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. So people have not cared about the situation that we're in, man. They don't want us to build up because they don't want us to start owning and making our own industries, man, right? And all these Edomites out there talking about two-tier policing, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They are actually saying they don't want two-tier policing, right? And then now that they are actually receiving what they're asking for in the UK in particular, what I'm talking about right now, by where when they're acting a damn fool, they're getting arrested. Now they're complaining when they're actually asking for it to not be that. That's what they say with their mouth anyway. But then what they're actually really asking for is two-tier policing, which leads me to this video with this woman in the middle, right? And her story of how she claims that she went through two-tier policing, right? And the way how the story goes from what she says, and you can watch the video, you can see all the information right there, right? You can find this video on the Talk TV YouTube channel, right? And what happened in this video is this woman, she was in her house and she saw that people was rioting outside, and she said that she saw the police had been out there for hours. Two particular police officers, I believe it was, had been out there for hours. So she went out of her house when there's rioting going on and brought them some ice pops. That's what she said. Like a frozen fruit juice type of drink, type of ice lolly or something like that. I don't know what you might call it in the States or in other places, but in the UK, they might call it an ice lolly, or depending on if it was like they might call it a tip top, but it was like a frozen fruit juice on a stick kind of thing, man. Or maybe it was like a tip top kind of thing in a plastic packet, long rectangle plastic packet. But either way, that's not the kind of thing that you're going to want it to be getting brought to you when you're focusing on people writing and trying to monitor that people writing or protesting don't go too far. But she brought this to them, and when she was trying to bring it to them, they was like, she said that they seemed frustrated with her and was like, just go home. Like, why are you bringing us this, right? To which she then started still talking to them and wanting to ask them things, and she said, according to her own words, that they asked her to go home on more than one occasion, right? And she was still just in front of the police officer's face. And then she said, oh, a crowd started gathering around. And then now she's like, well, why is everyone looking at me? But of course, people are going to be looking at you if you're in front of police officers arguing and asking them questions. Of course, they're going to be looking at you. So then she said, oh, she felt scared to go home because now she didn't want people to know where she lived, even though she came out of her house from safety to go to in front of police officers to give them a frozen ice, not water, to give them a frozen ice law. If you're trying to monitor people that are rioting or protesting, you need to have your hands free. You can't be having no ice law in your hand. You ain't got time for all that. That's a battlefield, right? But this goes into how women are simple, right? Women are simple, man. They don't have the thing that we know as wisdom. They don't have that, man. And that's why the scriptures say, and I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. And women are actually like demons jump on women to sift men out of believing in the Lord, man. That's a real thing. That's a real thing, man. But back on to this video, what this one was talking about in this video, man. So she tries to give the police officers tip tops or ice lollies, whatever you want to call it, right? A juice pop, whatever you want. I don't know how people say it in other places, man. But in the UK, we'll call it an ice lolly, an ice lol, a tip top, you know, or something like that. Something along those kind of like the kind of thing that you'll find from an ice cream van. She tried to give him something like that, right? While a riot's going on outside. This is what this woman decided to come out of her house from safety to do, right? They didn't want it. She still keeps talking to them, telling her go home. She's not listening, right? Then it gets to where they're saying, if you don't go home, you're gonna get arrested. So then she says, okay, you're gonna have to arrest me then. So then they arrest her, right? Like she asked them to. And then she starts acting all shocked according to her own story. Then she said, oh, I was shocked because they was arresting me. After she's told them to arrest her, by the way. So then they do arrest her, right? And then she said in the video that she thought that the police, after they'd arrested her, was going to take her around the corner to a safe distance away from where they grabbed her, right? And then let her out the car and say, okay, you can go home now. Now, isn't that asking for two-tier policing? Because I don't know about nobody else, right? But if you've ever been arrested before, which most of us so-called black men have been arrested for whether we did something wrong or whether we haven't, man, right? There ain't ever been no time where people normally, when Jakes get arrested and they think that the police is going to take them round the corner and then say, okay, you can get out now, right? So even though these Edomites are saying they don't want two-tier policing, no, actually you do want two-tier policing because you want to get treated differently than everyone else, right? You Edomites are hypocrites, man, right? And Yahweh's sick of you, and we're sick of you as well. We're sick of what Yahweh's sick of, man, right? For her to think that the police was going to take her around the corner a safe distance so that she can get out and safely walk back to her home after they've already told her go away, right? Is the proof that these Edomites don't want it fair play, mate. Fair play, mate. Fair play to your mate, geezer. Fair play, geezer. Yeah? They don't want it no fair play. They want it an unfair play, rigged game, man. That's what they want it to be. They don't want a fair play, mate, yeah? I'm a human, mate. You're a human, mate. Nah, they don't want it like that. They want it, I'm right every single time whenever I say I am. And even if I'm wrong, I'm right. That's what they want it to be. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. They're complaining so much right now, right? And it's quite sickening to see. to be honest with you. And it's also funny as well, right? And this woman in this video, man, I suggest that brothers in the UK, which I ain't nobody to tell nobody what to do, man. But this is where in the UK, right? And this is a good video to watch, man, because it shows that these Edomites, they really expect a rigged game. This woman actually said that she thought the police officers were going to take her around the corner and let her out the car. Why the hell would they do that? They've told you to go home. You didn't go home, right? Neither did you walk away from them and go somewhere else after you came at your house in safety during a riot and a protest to give tip tops to the police off ICE laws. Like that shows that women do not have no wisdom, man. And there's a particular thought that's kept coming into my mind that I think is going to take place during the times of when things get chaotic, man, and when the military starts getting involved in this thing, man. And it's this: there's going to be certain women, right, that are going to see among certain soldiers in either the UK, wherever it be, that there's going to be soldiers congregating, and these women are going to think that they're so hot, they're just so fire and so fine, and they're going to see among these military soldiers certain military men that they think are handsome, and they're going to go over to these military men, sashaying their hips, swinging their hips, walking over, thinking that they're so hot and they can pacify the masculine nature of these men. And they're going to try and ask them questions, ask them things to try and see if they can test the waters and get some kind of special privileges in that time, man. And they're not going to like what's going to happen to them at the hands of these battle-hardened military soldiers, man. They're not going to like what's going to happen. And I'm going to leave it at that with my speech on that topic. They're not going to like what the end result of that interaction is going to be, man. Because those men are going to be so battle-hardened that they ain't got time for women's BS and manipulative games, man. They're not going to have time for that. And I'm going to leave that topic on that, man. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4 again, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom you have indignation. So Esau is going to get the chance to, from this situation right now, seem like they're in a more safe position, that's the things are more beneficial for them. But at the end of it all, they're going for, man. Right? And now, back on this topic of the two-tier policing again, because this woman got given multiple opportunities to walk away. She got told, go home, didn't listen. Now switch the roles up. And she's seeing a situation like that. She's not going to be saying, oh, that's an outrage that you're arresting these people. She's going to be saying, well, and other Edomites are going to say, well, you was resisting arrest. They gave you opportunity to go home and you didn't. Yet they want to cry and say that there's two-tier policing. We know there is. We know there's two-tier policing, and it benefits you Edomites more than it benefits everyone else. You Edomites get treated completely different by the police. And you already know that. And that's the reason why this woman really actually, in a confused and delusional mind, she really thought that the police officers was going to take her around the corner, right? And then let her out the van and tell her to go home. And here's the thing, from her own story, when you watch this video, it sounds like they was considering doing that, but she couldn't shut her mouth because she said that the police officers went round the corner, they got a bit further away from where all the protest was happening, and then they stopped the van, and then the police officers turned around and was saying to her, me and you need to have a little chat, right? And then she said, if you let me out of these handcuffs and talk to me like a person, like a human being, then I'll have a chat with you, right? Which again is two-tier policing, because when the hell does that happen to Jake? That Jake get arrested and then they get or anyone else, and they get taken down the road, and then the police officer stops the police van and then says, me and you need to have a little chat. And then you're so sure that you're going to get your own way that you say to the police officer after you're already in the back of the van, take me out of the handcuffs and then we'll have a talk. And after she said that the police officer said, all right, you know what then, never mind, forget it. So in all of her talk about saying that she's receiving two-tier policing, she's actually wanting two-tier policing, even though these Edomites are saying they don't want it. No, actually, you do want it. You actually do want two-tier policing because you want to be able to try and set the terms of your own arrest. And you want to be able to argue and not do what the police say and then be able to get your own way. And then as soon as now you start getting arrested, you want to start pointing out somebody else that's also breaking the law. As if that stops your law breaking. As if that stops your law breaking, and we can understand that whole two-tier policing mindset when it comes to any judgments and anything that has ever happened to us as Israelites, because they want to be able to say, okay, black people sold black people into slavery, which ain't true in the way that they think. It was not the same nation of people. So those same black people that they want to talk about, when we get in our power, they're gonna receive judgment for what they did to us as well, because they're not the same nation as us. But they want to say that as if that now makes them exempt from all the things that Dave did. So Esau is always wanting it a rigged game. And this woman in this video and all the things that she speaks about shows that she was receiving two-tier policing that was benefiting her all the time, that she's complaining and saying, I can't believe this, right? They told her to go home on multiple occasions. She didn't, right? They arrested her to where she didn't get hurt and didn't get put in no harm, right? They stopped the van and wanted to have a chat with her, right? And then she said that the police officer, when they was driving in the van, that he kept turning around and asking her if she's okay. So she was receiving two-tier policing, that the same thing that they're saying they don't want, she was getting it. And it was benefiting her. And then she said that the police said that they're gonna have to charge her with something, but they're gonna give her the bare minimum. So that would be her receiving two-tier policing. The same thing that these Edomites are actually saying that they don't want to receive, but they really do. Because as soon as these Edomites start getting caught doing crimes, right, they might get caught speeding, and then they'll say, oh, mate, what you could be out arresting the real criminals. Well, a criminal, mate, is anyone that's breaking the law, right? Or they might get caught going down a one-way road the wrong way, and then now they get called out for it, and then they get a fine and be like, oh, ain't you got nothing better to do? There's real criminals out there. Mate, you're asking for two-tier policing because you want your crime that you're committing, whether it be worse or not than another crime, you want the police to forget about what you're saying on certain occasions so that they can try and go and do something to somebody else. But the police, since you Edomites love them so much, the police are supposed to police everything, right? That's what you normally say when it's anyone else committing a crime, right? But now you're getting arrested and now you're being called T-words, man. Now you're feeling the shame. Now that you're, and the thing that's maddest thing about this that I've seen, man, it's quite funny. They're saying they don't want two-tier policing, stop two-tier policing, right? But then they're complaining that they're getting arrested more now. But that's what's gonna happen when they're asking for something that really has always benefited them anyway. Them saying stop that is actually them taking away something that they've had as their own advantage. And Esau set it up that way. Because now the laws are going to be written in place to where they are also called them same words that have always been a buzzword for other people, man. But now everyone's going to be able to be called that buzzword because the so-called righteous ones, the Edomite, the so-called angelic Edomites, right? Now they're being called it. So now everyone can be called it. Like I've heard brothers say, man. And it's true what they said. Right? Now, what else? I'm trying to think about other things that this woman said in this video, man. She said that the police officers were sitting in the back of the van, one side and the other side of her. Well, if there's not space, where the hell else are they supposed to sit, man? You know what I mean? They gotta sit in the van, right? Like, I say that, brothers, watch this video, man, because it was getting on my nerves, to be honest with you. Because she was saying that she was a victim of two-tier policing and all this, right? But no, she actually wasn't. She was actually getting a benefit of two-tier policing, and everyone that's a non-so-called white person, we already know what time it is when it comes to laws, man. When it comes to how people get policed. We already know how it goes, man. We already know that Esau's folly gets treated way differently to everyone else's. Like football hooligans, man. And all these people that be disturbing everyone's peace when they might be on a train, singing and cackling, making up bare noise, right? They always get treated, it's just boys will be boys. That boys will be boys, right? And even that's a song, nah? But that boys will be boys term don't go for no one over in the UK where I've been born. That boys will be boys term don't ever get said for nobody else other than Edomites, man. They're just girls. They're just young girls. That term don't get used for no one else apart from so-called white women. They ain't trying to hear none of that boys will be boys when some young Jakes, teenagers and that be acting a damn fool in public. They ain't trying to hear none of that boys will be boys. But when some English white wastemans are singing some sweet Delilah on the train, making up bare noise, downing beers and that, spilling it on the train, acting a damn fool, singing up the train, grabbing the seats with their hands up in the air, and all that dumbass shit that they be doing, right? Then, oh, it's boys will be boys. Go on, mate. Go on, sing it, mate. Sing the chorus, mate. How about you shut the fuck up and let everyone go on their journey? But they be acting of like they've been the ones receiving the same thing that they're complaining about, saying that they don't want it to be, is what they've always been receiving. They've always been getting the benefit of it. And now that they're asking that they're not gonna have it, right, which Esau was gonna do it anyway, they're gonna start getting what they asked for. So now you're gonna get arrested when you had to fall. Now when you start rioting because you've got a grievance, right? But you never saw any of our grievances, and you're saying now that you're right. Oh, they don't understand the root cause. They don't understand the root cause of it. Well, you don't understand the root cause and haven't ever cared to understand the root cause of what we've went through. You damn devils. And I've always said that the root cause, but you never went through that. So why are you complaining? You've never been a this. You've never been a that. So why are you complaining? Well, why are you complaining then? Why are you complaining? And the thing with these Edomites is if they was financially doing good right now, none of them would be giving a damn about rioting, because you notice that the people that are doing all this rioting and all this protesting and all this madness, right? And all this complaining and all this going upside Edomite police officers' head, their own Edomite brothers. You notice the people that are doing it aren't the higher level people. It's not even the middle class people, really. It's these low level dreg Edomites, man, losing the plot, losing their mind, and some of the middle class ones too. But it's not no high level Edomites that are balling still, even with all this economic crisis, that are doing all that worrying and crying and complaining. They don't give a damn. They're at home with their arms folded, shaking their head too. Look at the state of it. Look at the state of it. Doing all that arms folded judgments from their house. Just looking like they did in 2011, man. When they started seeing Jay, oh, look at it. I bet he was out there. I bet he was out there. He looks like one of them online. Oh, God. They loved pointing out the race of everyone that was looting in 2011, when it wasn't only so-called black people doing that in 2011, by the way. I saw plenty of face that looked like it needed a tan during that time, man. I saw plenty of pale faces in that time. You damn hypocrites. Right? I saw plenty. But now they ain't gonna try and mention the race of who's doing all the madness now. They ain't gonna mention none of that, man. About who it is burning down things and all that. They ain't got nothing to say now. And it's heavy that Yahweh always reveals how hypocritical these people are, man. And this woman in this video, right, she actually received what she's trying to cry and say that she's a victim of, right? She's actually received it because they arrested her, right? But they didn't go upside her head and nothing like that or twist their arms behind her back. It's on video. It even shows some of it on the video, right? They took her in. They gave her the bare minimum, right? They kept asking her if she wants a drink, if she's okay. You know what I mean? And that's according to her own words. Yet she's still complaining, man. These Edomites get every single advantage in the world, yet they're still complaining, man. It's sickening. It's really sickening, man. And they're still trying to find a way to try and somehow blame all of this on us. It's hilarious. No matter what the situation is, they always got to try and bring Jake into it somehow, man, and try and bring us into it, man. And try and make it be about us some way. Leave us the hell alone, man. Ain't we been through enough? You know what I mean? And y'all did enough damage to us, man. How much more do you want to do? And we already know how much more. Oh, you want to go all the way, don't you? You devils want to go all the way with it and trying to oppress us, don't you? Y'all want to go digital with it, don't you? The MOTB. We already know, right? We already know what time it is, man. But I just thought I would talk about this video, man, because these Edomites are complaining about the whole two-tier policing thing, and then women as well. I wanted to touch on that as well, about how women are simple, because, like, if you're in your house safe and you know that there's rioting going on, right? Why the F would you come out of your house to give police officers tip-tops, man? ICE laws, stay in your house, man. And then you could have ended up getting yourself in a situation, and she did end up getting herself in a situation that she didn't need to get into. Because once they said that they didn't want the thing that you was trying to give them, leave them the hell alone. Talking about why you're arresting me, I'm only armed with 2 tip-tops. So why do you think that that somebody else is more of a threat than you? If you want everything to be fair, well then everyone should be considered exactly the same threat, whether they're big or whether they're small then. And that's another thing with women in the first place. Anyway, that they talk about they want all this equality, but when you actually realize what they're asking for, they're not asking for equality, because they want to be able to have the exact same amount of money as all the men that they see that their lives they're envious of, right? But then with their money, they can just spend their money on whatever they want to spend it on. But the man's money has to take care of her, and has to take care of any children that she wants to be able to have the complete say on whether them children get to be born or not. So if she decides that she want to have children, then she's having them. But if you decide that you don't want to have children, it's not your body, so you can't say anything. But if you decide that you want to have a child, and after you get a woman pregnant, and she decides that she wants to get rid of the baby, well, she's got the right to do that because it's her body. But you don't have the right in a woman's mind to say, you know what, then I don't want to spend no money on you. I don't want to spend no money on you. I don't feel like paying none of these bills this month. You know, I don't feel like it. Maybe next month I'll do it, but this month I ain't trying to feel that. When I find a woman that's feminine, then I'll show my true masculinity. But until then, I'ma act how I want to act. All the dumb terms that women say. And this is another point, man. Find a man with unlimited resources, right? Because since women are so desirous to be the same level as men, right? If a man had unlimited resources, right, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna have multiple wives, you think that man is gonna start pocket watching what his wives spend the money on when he's got unlimited resources? He's not gonna care. He's gonna allow them to have whatever things they want and desire. Now, a woman, on the other hand, if she's got unlimited resources, she's gonna be looking for the men to start buying her things. And that's another reason why women ain't supposed to have multiple wives, other than the simple reason is why Yahweh said they're not supposed to. Right? Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9, rise up, you women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. All you women out there, man, you better listen up, man, because the world is going to start going the other way for you. The world is going to start going the complete opposite way of what it's going like now for you. Many days and years shall be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. And that's what I mean. This woman was in her house, right? And she just took it on her own mind to come out of the house and give the police officers something. And really, she probably did that because she thought that they was attractive. And she's trying to get all up in their face, trying to choose one. That's really what it probably was, right? And was offended and shocked when they didn't want her, because she probably used to look good back in the day. That woman in the middle, back in the day, she probably used to look quite good. So she's got it in her mind that, yeah, I still can get my swerve on out here. Yeah, I've still got it. I wanted to test whether she still got it, and she clearly never had it, because she got her ass arrested. And they was treating her with like the respect of how a man treats a nan, not like how a man treats a woman that he's into like that. Verse 12, they shall lament for the teach, for the present fields, for the fruit of vine. And that's what she was doing. She was actually like, it's mad. She actually was saying that she thought the police was going to take her around the corner and say, you can get out now. Isn't that expecting two-tier policing? Isn't that expecting some kind of special treatment from the police that not everyone was going to get? Because everybody else don't get that. So why would you think you're going to get it? Has that happened to her before? You know what I mean? And she said it's the first time that she's ever been arrested in her life. But I bet it's not the first time that she's ran her mouth to police officers in her life, though. I bet that. I bet it's not the first time that she's got up in the police officer's face and still kept asking them questions when they don't want to talk to her. And when she's being told, go home, she still ain't. I bet that's not the first time she did that. And that's why she was so confident to do it. But then she's going to try and say that they two-tier policed me. Yeah, they did. And you ended up not getting gun upside your head like how somebody else might have. And they gave you the bare minimum. Yet you're still crying and complaining, man. And this scenario just shows how simple women are, man. They're simple. And when all hell breaks loose, we're going to see how simple women are again. Women are going to be doing such dumb things that in certain situations, men are going to be like, you know what? You're putting my life in danger, right? Like, for example, this is some of the kind of situation that women are going to do with their stupid mind, man. They're going to see you might be with a woman or whatever, and you've teamed up in all the hell that's broke loose and that she's just following you around. And then she sees another group of men, right, that she don't know from nowhere and screams out to them, help! Have you got any waters? Have you got any waters? We're over here. Oh, thank God I seen you. Oh. And you're just gonna be like, huh? Is this woman dumb? These people, she don't know these people from nowhere. She's just screaming out to them, thinking that they're gonna give her something for free. Why? And then you might escape that situation through the power of the Lord, and then be like, you know what? Me and you need to part ways. I'm done being around you. You're a hindrance more than a help to me in this situation. And bounce. You know? Women are going to show their complete folly in the times of all hell breaking loose, man. They're going to be acting dumb. Even our own women that we might have known for years in that time. Strangers might try and come to your house asking if you got anything, and the woman might just bait out everything. Yeah, we've got 5 bottles of water left, 3 cans of tuna, a few chickpeas, some granola bars, yeah, and there's 5 of us in it, and to just bait out all the information instead of just not opening the door and pretending that you're not in the house. Women are going to be they're going to be trusting other women. Like women can't set up situations to try and get things stole from you. Women are going to show how dumb they are and how unaware of danger they are. Like this woman in this video, she's in her house safe. She knows that there's riots and protests going on outside, and she's coming out of her house to try and stay in your house, man. And then as soon as then the attention's on you and all of that, and then now people are watching you after you're acting a damn fool in public, now you're shocked that people are looking at you. When do people ever see somebody arguing or going against what the police saying they don't look? People always look at that. But it just goes into how women are simple, man. And the most simple woman in the world is the Israelite woman, which this woman potentially could be one. Because we already know that there's a lot of Israelites that don't look like Israelites in this world, man. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16, moreover Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks, and one-tongued eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts, and the secret parts of women in general are being exposed, but none more so than our women, man. All the scriptures in the Bible that speak about women match the so-called black woman in particular more than any other woman on the earth, man, including this scripture right here. Verse 18, in that day, Yahweh will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their cords and their round ties like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses. Now I looked up that bit that says glasses, right? And Salakia, if I'm mistaken on this, but the last time I looked it up, it said mirrors. When all hell breaks loose, women ain't gonna have the time to look in the mirror, man. They ain't gonna have the time to look in the mirror and see what they really look like, man. And they're gonna think that they might think that they look hot, and their hair is gonna be going 25 different directions, man. They're gonna look crazy as hell. And even some of us are gonna look crazy as hell, man. Brothers that can't grow hair anymore, like myself, our hairlines that don't even exist right now. Our hairlines that don't even exist right now, right? It's gonna grow back. That hairline that we be keeping low as hell, that's gonna be growing back, man. And we're gonna look crazy as hell out here. But you know what? So what, man? Because in the kingdom we'll be able to have whatever hairstyle in righteousness that we want to have. Right? But we're all gonna be looking a bit crazy out there, man. But none more so than the women, because women need a lot more maintenance to look like the way how they look like. Men don't need nowhere near as much to do to look like what they need to look like, man. And even the Olympics is a show of that's been taking place recently, because when women take place in sports, right, they don't look as feminine as they do when they're not taking place in sports. But men look the same level of masculinity that women find attractive when they're doing sports, and if not even more. Maybe women even find men more attractive when they're doing sports, but men don't find women as more attractive when they're doing sports. They find women more attractive when they're not doing sports, man. When they're in all their clothes and stuff like that to set themselves up to look more feminine, man. Now there will be some sports where that can be the exception to the rule, I mean, right? But for the most part, that's not the case, man. Like female MMA fighters, for example, the hairstyle that they have don't look the same as the hairstyles that a woman can get away with having when they are not competing in a sport like that. Verse 23 again, Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 23, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle of rent, and instead of well set hair baldness, which is the reason why the so-called black woman can't really grow hair, because this particular thing happened to her more so than any other woman, man. It hasn't happened to no other woman. It's happened to the so-called black woman, right? Not the Ethiopian one. The woman that gets called being a black woman, and everyone knows what they're talking about when they say it, even though there's other people the same skin color, right? And instead of well set hair boldness, and instead of a stomach a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty, which is why on average the so-called black woman is not that hot no more, man. Now, that's not to say that there's not no so-called black women that are attractive. That would be a damn lie if I say that. Because some of the women that you might find in this world that are the most attractive women are going to be Israelite women. Right? But then at the same time, on average, among the so-called black women, they're not looking like that right now. Real talk. They're not. Now, they can get mad about that. But if we was to ask them whether they think that the average of so-called black men are attractive, they're going to say no themselves. So don't be a hypocrite. And if it was to ask you, so-called black women, if on average y'all can grow hair, you would lie and say, yeah, you can, when you know damn well that's not true. The average so-called black man can grow more hair than the so-called black woman if he decides to choose to do so. Right? Obviously, you'll see a so-called black man with longer hair than a so-called black woman if they decide that they want to grow long hair. The so-called black man's got more ability to grow long hair than the so-called black woman right now. And why is that? Well, I've read it in Isaiah the 3rd chapter. Verse 25, Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 25, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Women are not really used to not getting their own way, right? And that's why this woman in this video was even screaming and crying about saying, oh, it was a victim of two-tier policing, but she actually was receiving the two-tier policing thing that she was complaining about existing. She was getting given extra mercy on several occasions by her own words in this video, and I think that people should watch it, man. And she even tried to pull on the waterworks like women always try and do. But really, she was receiving two-tier policing, her own self. Yet she was saying that, her getting arrested was her getting two-tier policed, where she's getting treated more like a criminal than anyone else. When they stopped the van, and she actually said that she thought that they was going to let her out. So that means that all the time that she was running her mouth, really, that even when she got arrested, she really thought that she's not really getting arrested. She really thought, okay, I know the score. They're going to take me around the corner and let me out. I know how this goes. I've been here before. They're going to we're going to put on a little show and tell. We're going to put on a little theatre for the crowd. You can't arrest me. Yes, I am. No, you can't. Yes, I am. No, you can't. Yes, I am. All right. Come on then, Caroline. Come round the corner. You can go now, Bab. I'll see you later, Bab. See you at Christmas, yeah? No, You're getting arrested for real. But she was talking like she thought that she was going to get some kind of benefit way, man. Showing that these Edomites already know what time it is really, yet they're complaining. And when they're saying that they don't want to know, they're always, what they're actually asking for is that they're actually asking, they're actually always expecting that they don't want to get treated the same as everyone else. That's what they really want, and it can be shown in their complaints. It can be shown in their complaints, man. It's hilarious. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take our reproach. And a lot of women are going to be told to kick rocks, man. Men are going to be righteously arrogant in that time. To not be letting any of you straggle daggles try and slide up, man, that have been acting like complete buffoons now. That have been just acting wild, like wild animals, man, right now. They're not going to be accepting some of you. They're going to be telling you to go away, man. Go deal with some of the post-apocalyptic warlord maniacs or something like that. Because I'm not really I'm not in the market for one of you right now. No thanks. I don't want you by me. Go away. Get lost. I can do bad by myself right now. Do one. They're going to tell you women to kick rocks, man. And that's not a thing that women are used to hearing. They're not really used to hearing no. Right? They're used to everyone just... They think that the heavens are supposed to open up whenever they've got a complaint, man. And women, just like Esau in general, Esau and women are pretty much the same. The Edomite man and all women are pretty much act exactly the same, and especially the Israelite woman. So they want a rigged game, right? But just like how Esau wants a rigged game, really, man. But really, the game is rigged in favor of the Israelite man. And all the hell that the Israelite man's going through was predestined for him to go through that by Yahweh. And I just thought I'd do this video on this whole two-tier policing lie, right? That Esau is now getting treated way different than anyone else. That's a damn lie, right? That's a damn lie based on things that you Edomites even say yourself, that so-called black men are such a low percentage of the population, yet they commit all the crimes and that they're in prison the most. Well, then that means that they ain't no two policing when it comes to them then, does it? Because they're getting arrested and put in prison for the things that they do. And the statistics, according to what you Edomites always want to pull out your ass, the statistics show that, right? So then you can't be trying to say that there's no two-tier policing thing that's going for us, when we already know what time it is. We already know that Edomites get treated completely different, man. There's more than enough body cam videos on the internet to show that. More than enough. There's more than enough, man. There's more than enough Church of England pastors and preachers and bishops and all this stuff doing madness towards children and not getting prison time and just getting moved to different churches for us to know that there's two-tier policing that benefits you Edomites. So what are you complaining about, man? Things are just a little bit going, balancing the scales just a little bit, and you are losing your minds, man. But anyway, I'm going to end the video there. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.